I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Good to go?
Well, good to go.
You all record? Are you recording?
Oh yeah, I'm recording. Oh yeah, I am recording. Yeah.
Of course you are, darling.
Of course I am, mate. Hey, that's the levels of professionalism that we have here on the 2DCAST here on IrishComicNews.com. Follow the nerd.com. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mr. Flanagan.
Dr. Flanagan, please.
Good evening, Dr. Flanagan. Good evening, Hair Best.
Yeah, well, soon to be no hair best.
Yay!
It's Hair Best.
So I went into work and somebody said something to me for the first time in over a decade. They said, Bobby, your hair's sticking up at the back. And I fell to my knees and I put my arms out, Shawshank Redemption style, and I screamed to the heavens asking, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? So yeah, I'm shaving my head soon.
What's the story with the hair growth? Is this a dictate from Miss Russell?
Oh, no. She is neither my mum nor the boss of me. I just, enjoy sex. And
I hear it's very popular.
It's very Moorish. You
can't have just one sex.
It was sort of like it was my winter plumage that I just couldn't have been bothered, because once it gets to a certain stage,
that's what you're saying, Bob. Your head.
Yeah, but once it gets to a certain length, it becomes a whole thing to shave it, because you can't just take a big razor to it. So,
so can we
laziness?
Just speaking of weather, boys, Bobby, I know Derry has been the victim of the snow. How's it been?
The weather bomb?
The weather bomb, yeah.
Yeah. It depends. It hasn't been that bad. I mean, the foil hasn't frozen over like it did about 5 years ago, but it's been okay.
How's it been down Mexico way, Mark Antonio?
No snow down here. Plenty of rain the last few days, and it has been cold. But bar the odd snow storms, this odd, and I mean very odd, like few and far between. Small patches of snow. There hasn't been much at all. Not enough for me to throw a snowball at Jill yet, so.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And the salt.
Look, we've had no snow here, but one enterprising young fellow this morning, I caught him in school, had taken the time and effort to go and scrape out his freezer and make 2 snowballs that he brought to school in a baggie. At which point I caught him and confiscated them and threw them at my mate Jamil. Boys, vintage banter. Speaking of which, boys, how's your ma?
Haven't spoken to her. I am a terrible son. I haven't spoken to her since the last time I spoke to you.
There you go.
That's
Bobby,
terrible.
You're a terrible son. We should have Bobby's mum on to scold him.
Yeah, well, how's your mum, Kieran?
Unfortunately, send well wishes out to my mum, because she's not quite well this week. She's had a bit of a lung problem in the form of a bout of pleurisy, and she's been a bit bedridden the last few days. My brother is at home tending to her this evening, but I'll be up there in the next few days to, queue up some boobies and look after her.
What a good son you are, unlike a certain someone else on this podcast.
And how's your ma, Flanagan?
My mum phoned me today to scold me. They say some pile of shite had come in the post, and I said, "What could you elaborate on this?" And she said, "Some fucking book." And I said, "What was it called?" And she said, "America." So my first issue of the Judge Dredd mega collection has arrived in the post.
Yes.
And there's a review from my mum. Some pile of shite.
Some pile of shite.
Am I getting you one of those, Mark Antonio?
You are indeed, yeah.
Good, because they're readily available in, that wasn't even an English word. They are readily available in all good news agents, and some bad ones as well.
I'm not getting it.
Good for you, Bobby.
I am refusing to buy this one.
Sorry, Bobby.
sorry.
I'm gonna.
Burnt in the past.
I'm gonna quote David Lopan here, but you're not put on this world to get it. Oh, hang on.
You're not put on this world to get it, Mr. Best.
Shut up, Mr. Bartan. Good. Boys, will we talk about some news and thing?
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on, what's been happening.
Well, I read a thing this morning talking about how, which leads into, we're going to review later on, we're going to talk about Constantine, but I've heard it is on the edge of the precipice.
It is on the edge of being cancelled, and it should not be cancelled because it is a great show. It is, out of all of the comic book shows that are out this year, and there are some really, really good ones, it has done the best job of, for me, going in saying, you know what, this could be terrible, this could be absolutely crap, and giving it a few episodes to let it get rolling. And since episode 4 on, that show has gotten better and darker and more like Hellblazer with each passing episode, and this week is absolutely no exception. We'll get into the review of that later, but it's such a good show. It really doesn't deserve to be cancelled. It deserves to have a bit of life in it.
I have a question now that is about the nature of the television industry as it stands today. Is it really possible for a show to be cancelled these days without someone like Netflix or Love Film or any of those other jabrons picking it up just to have exclusive content?
Well, you see, here's the interesting thing with this one, all right? Could Constantine show up on Netflix? I would say no, and the reason I would say no is because they're already heavily in bed with Marvel. I doubt that they would pick up a competition series from WB.
Good point.
Mm.
I have a question.
Yes?
From what I have seen of Young Constantine, it is very, very faithful to the comic, and that's why the people that like it so much. But do you think the fact that it's so faithful to the comic is possibly the reason that nobody else is watching it?
I don't know. And the point that I would make in relation to that, Bobby, is it got its darkest this week, and it's the darkest I've ever seen a superhero TV show, for want of a better word, because that's what Constantine is being described as by a lot of people. It's much more, I would put it in the style of like Grimm or Sleepy Hollow or Supernatural. It's much more
show.
But it is getting that superhero label because it's adapted from comics.
Supernatural gets that, it's got that big fan base, and to a lot of that big fan base, it's like a weak sauce version of Supernatural.
Which is hilarious considering so much of Supernatural's storyline and its characters' goddamn outfits have been lifted from Constantine.
But in TV, perception is everything, and the perception is this is the rip-off, which is.
But it is. This is what I'm talking about, in that it isn't actually weak sauce. It's proved itself week on week to be darker and more sincere than Supernatural. I've yet to see an episode of Supernatural where, in order to avert a demonic possession in the lead character, the way that they do it is to, get as much heroin as they can find and bang it into his veins so that he is so goddamn high off his face that the demon can't take control of him. That's Constantine, and that's the difference between Constantine and Supernatural, which will have its lead, full of demon blood for a year and never have much more of a consequence other than the occasional time his eyes go black. So
I hate Supernatural.
I actually quite like Supernatural.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen a single episode.
I'll tell you what, though, I read an issue of the manga. It was actually very good.
There was an animated manga series of Supernatural a couple of years back. That was
I heard that was very good also, yeah.
Yeah. So yay Constantine! Please help us save it. Watch it. Just watch it.
Let's save Constantine for later. Other big comics news. You printed some stats on Facebook the day before yesterday.
Now, it was in the last few days, and some people can perceive me as posting stats as trying to pick a side or another. I really am not. And if you look at the stats themselves, the stats speak for themselves. Marvel and DC generally hold a market share in and around 30% each. It never varies more than Marvel going up to 31 or 32, or DC going up to 31 or 32, and the other going down to 30. This time around, this quarter, for the end of last year, DC won by an absolute tiny margin. A tiny margin. 1.3% lead. But that's not what's important to me in those stats. What's important to me in those stats is seeing the other publishers beginning to gain market share, which is interesting. IDW has gone up to 10%, and Boom Studios and Dynamite are all beginning to grow. All of these smaller studios are beginning to gain larger market share, and the one that impressed me the most is that the other market, which is basically the self-published market, which is most of where my stuff leads, is in and around, beginning to reach up to around 20%. It actually has a larger market share than either Boom or Dynamite.
I think that a part of that though might be as a side effect of like the rise of Kickstarter and funded
Absolutely.
projects like that, which is great. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant.
So yeah, the yearly stats, they're up there on my Facebook page. We can post them on the 2DCAST page as well, I'm sure, if people want to have a bit of debate about them or have a look at them. But yeah, just to say, it's never me perceiving a side. I love DC, I love Marvel, I love every comic publisher. I love any comic publisher that's putting out good content. I'm done with picking sides in these things. I read too many of the books from every single house to kind of pick a side. So,
who is it that puts out those Grim Fairy Tales comic?
That would be Grim.
Yeah, who puts that out?
Yeah, Grim.
They're actually called Grim comics.
Yeah, fuck those guys. that stuff sucks balls.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty bad. But anyway, so yeah, what else is comic news have we got this week?
Bobby Best, did you read a DC comic this week?
I read some DC comics.
Since when?
I saw you post a thing on the internet about
Accuse Bobby Best. Since when?
Shut up! It was just one time. It meant nothing to me.
Well, were you reading something by Mooney by any chance?
Yeah, I was reading Grayson.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I loved I loved the Authority when they were still good. I mean, before they get pulled into the larger DC universe. Midnighter is just fantastic.
He's a great man.
Yeah, but it's weird that, like one character can't get married, but the Midnighter can just turn around and go, I'd know that ass anywhere. That's fantastic.
Guys, actually, it's kind of a slow news week, isn't it?
Yeah, comics news. Yeah, I've just been catching up with really a lot of the bigger stories that have been going around. I've been, as in, catching up on Axis, catching up on DC's World's End, catching up on Batman Eternal, and just seeing where, because I generally, because it's Christmas, you got to see people, so you got to read less comics because you have to see people, apparently. So catching up on my reading the last few weeks, and catching up on a couple of independent books as well. Well, I say independent, Boom books and stuff like that. Comics news wise, I think the biggest comics news this week is that Marvel finally released their Star Wars book.
Yeah, okay, let's get into that.
Yeah, let's get into that one. All right, so
wait.
I have it here in my very hand. I was lucky enough to get the Alex Ross variant. Thanks, Doc, which is a wonderful Alex Ross. Do you remember the original cover to the very first Star Wars Marvel book back in the 70s?
Yeah.
It's Alex Ross's take on that cover.
Marvelous. He does that stuff so well. The cover,
it is gorgeous.
The cover he did to the Flash Gordon DVD was just
the 35th anniversary one.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, it's very in that style. I'll take a picture of it on my phone and throw it up later. But I just love Alex Ross's work, and I generally think that he's great no matter what he does. But let's get into the actual specifics of the book. And so it's written by Jason Aaron, and it is. I'm trying to find who it's actually drawn by.
Sorry, boys. I was just taking a delicious drink of pop there. So
A little drink of pop.
You having a wee mineral?
I am having a mineral.
Oh.
Well,
This book has no credits.
whilst you're trying to sort that out, Mark Antonio, can I say a bit about Star Wars?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been a little down on Star Wars for about when was Phantom Menace released? 1999. Okay, so about 16 years now.
I think you need to let it go, Flanagan. Lando Calrissian's back in Rebels this week. It's all good.
Yeah, all right, I get it. But the thing is, the prequel trilogy poured a load of shit over stuff. It was really weak, like really fucking weak. And I know that like a lot of stuff like the Clone Wars and whatever was actually probably decent. I just couldn't remove myself from it. And reading this for the first time in about 16 years exactly, I got really excited about Star Wars because
it's all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all there. Now, let me just read out the creative team for you. It's a long list of credits because, let's face it, it took a lot of work to put together a Star Wars book at Marvel, having just reclaimed the license from Dark Horse and the long-standing legacy that Dark Horse have with Star Wars comics. The writer is Jason Aaron. The artist is John Cassidy. The colorist is Laura Martin. Nice to see Marvel giving colorists credit. The letterer is Chris Eliopoulos. The cover artists, and there were many, were Cassidy, Martin, Alex Ross, and various. So there's, I believe, something like in the region of 65 variant covers to this bad boy.
Yeah, Bobby, you've got one coming in the post tomorrow.
Yes, it arrived in the UK yesterday. I was expecting to actually get it delivered today.
As was I.
But no such luck.
Yeah, but everybody's getting a credit on this book, let me tell you.
Well, actually, no, that's Todd Various. Because, you know, they have to have, like, you know, like weird-ass names, like Man of Action or Fraction.
Well, here we go. We're in editor, Jordan D. White, executive editor, C.D. Cebulski and Mike Marks, editor-in-chief, Axel Alonso, chief creative officer, Joe Quesada, and publisher, Dan Buckley. For Lucasfilm, senior editor, Jennifer Heddle, Lucasfilm Story Group, Rain Roberts, Pablo Hidalgo, and Leland Chi. So there's a lot of hands involved in getting this book together, and I can imagine that with the new Star Wars film coming out at the end of the year, and Disney's new home, for Disney being the new home for Marvel, and Disney being the new home for Lucasfilm, it's probably a lot of different people had a hand in what they wanted to see come out in a Marvel comic. But what really shined out to me is that regardless of how many hands were involved, we got a really good Star Wars story.
Do you know what? It really, really felt like something that wouldn't have been out of place in the original Marvel run of the Star Wars comics.
And oddly, it takes place pretty much, and it's not outrightly said, but the recent Dark Horse Star Wars series was set in this exact same time frame. And to say that they're not saying it isn't continuity, but they're not saying it is either. But they're certainly in that space where you can comfortably go from reading the Dark Horse Star Wars book, which was out, which also had Alex Ross covers, do you know what I mean? Into reading this new one, and it fits absolutely perfectly.
Just to be clear, it's between New Hope and Empire, yes?
Absolutely, yes. It's between New Hope and Empire, and Luke is still rocking the blue saber. Han is still, you know, being Han. Han Solo in this book was one of the best things for me. Han Solo and berating C-3PO for messing up a job was just it was brilliant. The whole book was great. I don't want to give too much about the actual story away.
You've been warned about that in the past.
Yeah, just to say that essentially the rebels have to infiltrate an Imperial base, and as happens with these things in Star Wars, it's probably not going to go exactly to plan, and that's probably where half the fun is going to come from it when Han Solo decides to improvise.
Yeah.
And it's the way the characters talk to each other. They just nailed, like Jason Aaron just nailed the personalities of Han Solo, nailed the personalities of the droids, nailed the personality of Luke, Leia, and how those characters interact with each other. It's brilliant.
It's wicked. What I liked about it is that it had that childish. Childish is probably the wrong word, but I'll say it anyway. A childish, simplistic morality to it. You know, it's like right, wrong, good guys, bad guys. None of this shades of grey bullshit that the prequel trilogy was building up. It was just like, this thing has happened. I am not letting this thing happen.
Vader's a bad guy through and through with this one. Absolutely. Yeah. Like Vader is the old Vader, not the, coloured by the performance of Christian whatever block of wood.
Yes. Go on. I'd tell you what I really liked about this issue, more so than the actual main story, which was great. There was previews of upcoming series, and one of them is for hang on, I might have actually dreamed this, so I want to make sure. Is there like a 3-page preview with Vader meeting Jabba the Hutt?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
That is from Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader, which is having a launch party in Orbital, which you are going to go to, Mr. Flanagan, right?
When is it?
I'll get you the dates.
Okay, I will. I promise that I will be there. I'm still ashamed of that last time I went into. I don't know if I talked about this on air. I was still ashamed that I went into Orbital and was talking to Chris, and he said, "Oh, you're here for the lunch?" And it was like the lunch, and I said, and I looked around, and Becky Cloonan was sitting at a table like 2 foot away from me. I was like, aye.
Oh, Flanagan. Oh my God. Right, here we go. Saturday, the 14th of February. So Valentine's Day.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Bring your lovely lady who you're marrying this year to meet the wonderful Kieran Gillen, who will be signing Darth Vader. And I want a signed Alex Ross variant Darth Vader, Mr. Flanagan, as proof.
Oh, well, unfortunately,
this is what you get for giving me Loot Crate blue balls.
Unfortunately, on that occasion, I will be taking my lovely lady to Derry to talk to a florist about flowers.
That's not important right now, Flanagan.
I
My Loot Crate blue balls are more important than this. Sorry, Ed.
Bobby, can you help this guy out?
In what way?
And somebody already bags out the Star Wars comic from the.
Oh, the Star Wars comic. There, I know we had this Cold Dead Hands conversation last episode, but.
Okay, so Bobby.
Flash Gordon style. Spikes. Let's do this.
Bobby Best pulling out the not very often heard "get the fuck" clause on the 2D character.
Alright, yes, we've got the Darth Vader book coming out from Kieran Gillen, and we've got a Princess Leia book coming out as well.
Little something for the skirts out there.
Yeah, there's also, Princess Leia is coming out by none other than Mark Waid and Terry Dodson. And if I can just flip here, Darth Vader is coming out from Kieran Gillen and Salvador LaRocca.
Well, I'm really excited about them. I feel,
God, just looking at that, that's like I normally rag on LaRocca art, but that's a really good Darth Vader in Jabba's palace.
Yeah, look, I got really excited about that. Like,
yeah.
Actually, something that occurred to me is J.J. Abrams is a real fucking destroyer of worlds, isn't he? Because with his reboot of Star Trek, he rendered all past continuity save for, I think, Enterprise plus an episode of Deep Space Nine plus like 2 episodes of the original series moot, and now he's rendered all Dark Horse's stuff asunder. Good for him.
Now, the Dark Horse stuff, rendering Dark Horse stuff asunder was nothing to do with J.J. Abrams. That was Disney's call.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, destroyer of worlds. And the people will love him for it. And the lion will lie down with the lamb. Truly, these are the end of days.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 thumbs up for Marvel's Star Wars reboot. And the initial one is really, really great. And can I say a refreshing antidote to all the superhero bullshit that they're putting out at the minute, which is
gangbusters by the looks of things as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing major money, and as we did talk about this before, the as Flanagan claims, artificial inflation by the fact that these comics are going out in loot crates, but 200,000 Star Wars went out in loot crates.
Yep.
That brought it up to near 1 million in single issue sales. 1 million. We haven't had a comic sell 1 million since the 90s. Sorry, Will, your Amazing Spider-Man #1, which it had been up until now. It's gone, buddy. It's gone. You're number 2, Sliney. Do better.
Well, the thing is, you have to remember as well that we all remember how many copies X-Men issue 1 sold, and how that's been fucking losing up bargain bins for the last 20 years.
And I don't doubt that we'll probably have that situation with this Star Wars #1 as well, but as it stands now, 1 million have gone out.
What about pre-orders for issue 2?
Let's see how. I don't know about that.
300.
Keep an eye on that.
Yes. 2.
If you're ever interested in sales stats, gentlemen, follow the Big Bang first thing on a Monday morning. Monday mornings they put out tweets in relation to their sales for the week and what they expect to do in pre-sales. It's a very interesting thing to follow. I generally follow it every Monday, and it just gives you a real interesting look at just how books are selling and why they're selling and why they're not selling. So yeah, check out the Big Bang's Twitter on a Monday morning for that.
Okay. Next up, you want to talk about I'm drawing a blank here. Escape from New York, was it?
Yeah, man. Boom Studios are doing Escape from New York at the moment as I'm not sure if it's going to be a mini series or an ongoing series, but I've gotten the first 2 issues. Both have wonderful covers by Declan Shalvey and Jordi Belair. And the team is as follows: Christopher Sabela is writing the book with art by Diego Barreto. Maurice Louise is the colorist. Ed Dukeshire is the letterer. And as I said, there's alternate covers. The main cover is done by Deck Shelby and Jordi Belair. You can also get a Tim Bradstreet cover, a Riley Ramosa cover, a Jay Shaw cover, and an Alice X Zhang cover. And I really, if you're not getting the Declan Shelby cover or the Tim Bradstreet cover, get the Alice Zhang one. It's gorgeous. But yeah, the book takes place immediately after the end of the original Escape from New York.
Thank fuck for that.
Oh, it takes up immediately afterwards. So Snake is on the run. The president is being impeached.
We should probably say no more.
I'm not going to tell you too much about it, Bobby, but let's just say that this story leads Snake to somewhere in America that is completely walled off and its own state. That is, it's basically the only place he can run where the government can't come after him. That place is Florida. I won't tell you why or how, but just go read it. It is absolutely, truly the best story I have read so far. There have been other Escape from New York comics that tried to fill the void of stories about Snake Plissken, but this one so far is really nailing it for me. It gets the character, it gets the it's
Sorry.
God bless you. God bless you.
I tried to hold it in, I couldn't.
So yeah, check out Escape from New York. It's great.
Whoa, hang on, what is this?
Did you get a surprise with that one?
Marvel Comics has...
that happens every time you sneeze.
Hang on, is this real? Marvel Comics has just officially announced the end of the Marvel Universe? I know there's been rumors about it, but...
Secret Invasion and whatnot? Where are you seeing this, Bob? Where are you seeing this, man?
Newsrama.
Oh. Hang on. Pause this podcast. This is big enough that we might need to check it.
No, let's check it out.
No, hold on. Let's just
play this out.
Let's live tweet this, shall we?
Okay, newsarama.com. Marvel
and 2 hours ago.
Hang on.
Announcements to end all announcements.
Marvel Comics has just officially announced the end of the Marvel Universe. It began in 1961.
Holy shit, it's real!
Yep.
This week on Called It with Kieran, Mark, and Tonio.
Hang on. Marvel Comics announced today that the Ultimate Universe and the Marvel Universe will smash together during the publisher's Secret Wars events. Oh, right. It's just oh, that's not a story. Never mind.
It is a story. Let me tell you what it is. It's what we all suspected. This Secret Wars is going to bring together all of the existing Marvel universes, much in the same way DC's Convergence is going to bring together all of the existing DC universes, and we're going to get a soft reboot of both of them. We've known this for a while. We've talked about it.
I think the whole thing will be a figment of Franklin Richards' imagination, and it'll be all drawn by guys who have too many pouches and not enough feet in their comics.
But we may get the best Captain America cover ever, Bobby.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
What is that?
Wasn't that a cover of Avengers?
It was, yeah. No, it was the Captain America side boob.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
The one Robert Carey had as his Facebook avatar for so long.
For so very long. You got to set your goals high, you know?
That was perfect.
Jesus. So, Escape from New York's good. I was just reading about the people are losing their shit about the alleged reboot. Nobody's losing their fucking shit about a reboot of Escape from New York. No.
I've got two angles on this, right? One, I would really, really love to see a final piece to that trilogy with Kurt Russell as he is now, old and grizzled and seeing the end of the fucking world. That would be a great Escape from movie. I believe it was touted as being done and being called Escape from Earth, because literally the whole world was fucked.
I could get behind that. Yeah,
I could get behind that, but I could also get behind. I mean, there have been candidates before up for the role of Snake Plissken. If I were to cast it right now, Jared Butler could play it.
That's who you'd cast as Snake Plissken.
No, he's been ruined for me.
No,
that makes me the man I am. The man of today. Piss off!
All right, Timothy Oliphant.
No, you're wrong.
And tell us why, Flanagan.
The man who needs to play Snake Plissken in the new movie?
Yeah.
Alfonso Ribeira.
Google's Alfonso
Carlton?
Carlton Banks. Do you know why? Nobody had expected it, and everybody loves Carlton.
Rob Schneider.
Yes.
Derp de derp.
So yeah, that's my take on it. I think there are people out there that could do it. If they were going to do it, I'm not exactly opposed to it, but I would much prefer to see old grizzled Kurt Russell come back one last time.
I think that'd be really cool. And in fact, if you've seen Kurt Russell recently, well, he's not aged too badly.
No, he hasn't. I often cited that, you know, when what was that goddamn Grindhouse movie he did? Death Proof came out.
Mm-hmm.
In Death Proof, he was basically Snake Plissken.
Was that before or after Poseidon?
I don't know.
Do you know what Poseidon was called in France?
Royale with cheese.
Poseidon.
Lovely.
Poseidon.
Oh.
Johnny English was called Johnny Anglais.
Yeah. So as it's been screener season, boys, have you watched any Academy Award nominated movies?
Yes.
Thanks to the internet.
Yes.
Which ones have you watched?
I watched Birdman.
What a movie.
I watched The Theory of Powerful Disability Drama.
The Theory of Everything.
Yes. I watched sorry boys, I've been to a school's debating competition today, so my brain is kind of frazzled. Yes, I watched Shooty McFucking Controversy.
Shooty McControversy. The American Sniper.
Yes, American Sniper. Thank you.
I watched The Imitation Game last night.
Any good?
Really good, actually. Really, really good. I've also watched Big Hero 6. Which is absolutely a joy. Oh, I love that movie. That movie was great. What else have I watched?
So can I ask a question? This is based on what happened in the most recent episode of the podcast when you were discussing the Oscars.
Yeah.
Does anybody actually think that the Oscars really mean anything at all?
These days?
No, not these days. Ever. I mean, going back,
general public perceives it as the highest act. I'd say a lot of people still perceive it as the highest accolade in acting or in cinematic performance. Oh, it's ran by 10 people.
Do they really though?
No, not a lot of people look further into it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Eminem has an Oscar.
Fuck off.
Phil Collins has an Oscar.
Phil Collins can have an Oscar. He's all right.
I like Phil Collins.
I liked him in Hook.
I liked him in oh Christ, my head. Train McSteely Steel.
The Great Train Robbery.
Buster.
Oh, Buster.
Shit, sorry. Not doing well tonight at all. But...
No. Take a breath.
Yes.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Okay.
Okay, calm.
I am calm.
Soothing thoughts.
Surely.
Beverly Crusher.
Beverly
Crusher.
All I can see is the camel toe.
Beverly, exactly.
Okay, boys, I told you I had a review, a secret review.
Review, yes.
I forgot to mention it on the show last week. It completely slipped my mind. I went to the ballet.
You went what?
You went to the what now?
The ballet.
The ballet.
The Ballerina? The Ballet Murphy?
I went to see Edward Scissorhands The Ballet at Sadler's Wells Theatre last Thursday night.
How was that?
It was actually pretty amazing. Not because I think, don't get me wrong, listen, Edward Scissorhands is one of those films that seemed to be perpetually on Channel 4 at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night during the 1990s. I'm not a fan. It's
never seen it.
I think it's victim of, I was going to say Ed Wood's, Tim Burton's worst excesses of mawkishness, sentimentality. You know, it's fine, but the ballet was amazing, boys. And my lady is a ballet dancer, so she likes going to the ballet, so we go quite frequently. But I was just amazed by the physicality and the control that the performers had over their body. Like, just case an example, at the very, very start, and there's a scene where the guy who was played by Vincent Price in the movie is putting Edward together, And, he's like fucking sewing him up and all this shit. And then he just grabs him like a fucking rag doll and carries him across the stage in a particular way. And I thought, oh, well, that's a doll. And obviously, the other Edwards, he's going to be over there whenever he's finished. And then I realized it was the fucking guy. It was the other dancer. And the guy's his control over his physicality and the strength of the other dancer was such that he could pick him up like he was a doll. And from that point on, for about 45 minutes, I was just amazed by just how good it was. It was brilliant. They used all the Tim Burton score performed by a live orchestra, which was really, really great. The sets were amazing. I'll put some pictures up. I've got like some images. I didn't take any photographs when I was there, okay? But I've got some stuff from the program and stuff. It was just like really, really, really brilliant. Something I never thought I would understand or I would like. So, yeah, there you go. A ballet review.
An Edward Scissorhands ballet review.
Yeah.
They could have worked really well. Flanagan, have you read the new Edward Scissorhands from IDW by Kate Leff?
No, I haven't.
It's actually a really good book, and people should check that out too.
Oh, one thing
Never seen the movie.
One thing I will say is that in the movie and in the ballet of Edward Scissorhands, the character played by Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
There's a long history of bullies being stupid in movies and TV shows, but he must be the fucking stupidest of them all because he thought his 1950s schoolyard bullying could take out a guy with fucking knives for hands. Come on, dude.
Never seen it.
Edward Scissorhands?
Never seen it. I was in. I'm going to tell you a wee story. I was down Foyle Street in Derry, and I went into Angry Cherry because the bus hasn't come yet, and I had 20 minutes to kill. So I went in, and I'm looking at the young little Funko Pop figures, and I saw one called Oogie Boogie, and I went, "What the fuck is Oogie Boogie?" And there was a young lady behind the counter who just looked at me like she was. I'd basically said Allah's a bit of a prick in a predominantly Muslim country. That was the look that she gave me, and she went, "It's from A Nightmare Before Christmas," or something similar. And then I had to tell her that I'd never seen that either. And
like you don't even own a TV.
I don't even own a TV. She could not wrap her head around this at all.
Yeah, it's very popular with the younglings, Bobby. Very, very popular. You'll frequently see Nightmare Before Christmas cosplays all over the place. Bobby, do me a favor. Could you say "What the fuck's an Oogie Boogie" in the sort of voice that the Hound would say? "What the fuck's an Oogie Boogie"?
What the fuck's an Oogie Boogie?
What the fuck's a lummy?
Shut up! Shut up about everything.
Good. So, moving on, we want to talk about Agent Carter.
Agent Carter. First 3 episodes done. I'm liking it. What are you boys thinking?
Sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
I like it, but it has very. It could. Oh Christ!
Can I use the word nothingy? I'm enjoying it, but it's like the television equivalent of Yorkshire pudding. It's it's nice. It's in your mouth for a second, it goes down, and then you're hungry again immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask. Are you getting? I'm just gonna ask. Are you getting the references, lads? Do you know what's fucking going on here?
I haven't been paying very close attention. If I'm honest about it, it's what I put on whenever I'm marking books.
Right. Well, you're getting the building of the Roxxon Corporation, who are being fronted by Leviathan, or being backed by Leviathan, who in Marvel Comics are the third angle in the war between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. There's always been a third side, you just haven't seen them yet, and it's being introduced through this, in the form that Leviathan have stolen a bunch of seriously high-tech, dangerous Howard Stark weapons. That Howard Stark has now had to go rogue from the SSR, recruit Peggy as a double agent, and essentially go around the world on secret missions trying to get these weapons. These weapons, dimension, from everything I have gathered, are either based on Inhuman technology or Kree technology. So this is another step in the building of the Inhuman universe.
It just came across to me like it was it is very. I know that they've gone they've like, you know, made references to stuff, but that just seems to be what it is. It's like somebody is patiently typing away at their typewriter, writing this and going shit. Here, give me the name of some group of bad guys we haven't used. Oh, Leviathan, right? That's Leviathan, and they're being front. They're behind. Here, not Stark. What do you call them other guys? Roxxon. Ah, perfect. Shit's writing itself. It just seems like it has very little. I mean, it has references to the Marvel universe, but very little else. Oh, and that's probably just my fault because it's taken place before most of it.
It has two things going for it now that make it, you know. Normally, I would consign something that I described as nothing to the garbage bin of my mind and go about my business doing something else. It's got two things. One, Howard Stark is an amazing asshole.
Yeah,
he's just an amazing asshole. Even more so than his much vaunted son.
Oh yeah, and for me anyway, Edwin Jarvis is fucking perfect. He is fucking perfect. I've said it before that the one thing that disappointed me when Iron Man came out was that Edwin Jarvis wasn't a human butler as he's in the comics. I understand why they went that way because, you know, everybody's used to Batman and having Alfred, so they wanted to do something different. But it absolutely fits to have the live action, absolutely completely stiff upper lip British Edwin Jarvis as Howard Stark's butler. That makes sense and it works, and it means that for me anyway, I think that they're going to go the route of, you know, Tony based his Jarvis AI on this Jarvis.
Yes,
you know, he was obviously an influence in his life at some point, but for me, this show has a couple of interesting angles to it.
It's got one angle I'm particularly interested in,
which is
some sort of angle looking down Peggy Carter's top.
Jesus, Jesus. Yeah. Anyway,
Captain America, and you're thinking about her breast disease.
Yes.
This show is basically, the way I described it to someone recently was that it's Ranko's Shield minus Nick Fury. But what if Nick Fury is going to show up younger, ready for action? We've never seen that Nick Fury. The only Nick Fury we've seen in the Marvel Universe is Samuel L. Jackson. But we know that he's been active for a very long time. And I think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might be, or not even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., sorry, Agent Carter might be where we're going to see the introduction of a young, action-heavy Nick Fury.
Sorry, boys. I'm loath to interrupt this review, but Marvel are streaming a live press conference right now.
Okay.
And
it seems to be evoking massive negative reaction on Facebook.
Yeah,
because Facebook really engenders like positivity.
I know.
Oh, hang on. There's a friend of the show.
That's Marvel.com. Sorry.
Friend of the show, Anto McGlynn, thinks it's a great idea.
Okay, let's have a look here.
Let's see what's going on.
Rip it up and start again.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, should we pause and come back in about 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's pause this.
Rip the piss out of this.
Okay.
What is going on up here?
I never know, man.
Daylight.
Yeah, I like that.
Dayman.
Dayman.
Fighter of the night, man. Champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. A dayman, that's it. Dayman. Oh. Fighter of the night, man. Oh. Champion of the sun. Oh. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Dayman. Dayman. Oh.
Nice, we'll get the
Fighter of the night, man. Oh. Champion of the sun.
So we've got this live press conference here. It's Axel Alonso, is it?
It's Axel Alonso, editor-in-chief of Marvel, with Tom Brevoort, SVP, executive editor of Marvel. This is the Secret Wars live kickoff stream, and we are coming in at the 16-minute mark. We can't go back, so we're going to just jump right in. Let's go.
When we rolled these books out, and so it's great to actually be here and ready to dive in.
I've been burnt too many times to go, right, this is going to be the status quo forever and ever.
Keep gaining momentum, and it's been sort of
See why not?
through, I mean, just off the top of my head, Age of Ultron, Original Sin, Axis, and it just seems to have been percolating and waiting.
When we decided to go ahead and do this, Jonathan had actually talked to me about doing Secret Wars as a separate project, even before Avengers. I think even possibly
This guy really sounds like Stan Lee.
War Run, or even before
He does.
gotten Fantastic.
Where is Stanley?
He had
I thought they would have trotted him out to go, hey, Excelsior, am I getting paid for this?
Avengers. We decided let's do that, and all the folks at Marvel, beyond just myself and my friend here.
Okay, Cliff Notes real quick. Cliff Notes. Basically, they've just announced that Marvel are going to combine all of their current universes for one final showdown in Secret Wars, and this is all building through Avengers and New Avengers, up to the storyline of Time Runs Out, which is going to be the precursor to Secret Wars, and then we're going to get a Marvel Universe reboot. Go!
This is the end of the Ultimate Universe, hallelujah.
For the potential of what this
Is what I've taken from it.
So it's a lot bigger now than was originally imagined.
I think it's a stupid idea. Sorry to be negative, Nancy, here, but I think it's...
Hyperbole. There's nothing wrong with typical family hyperbole. But it
There,
is
Mark Antonio,
imagine something
Year of Wonder, that.
larger in scope, in scale, than what we're doing with Secret Wars. We've never done anything like this ever.
What? Spider-Verse is going on right now.
Hopefully that will be somebody else's problem. Although hopefully I will also still be, working and gainfully employed.
As Tom said, all the divisions are in line.
Oh, Axel Alonso's talking.
All divisions. So it's the most coordinated event we've ever done. And as everyone knows, we're a big universe, a shared universe, and we've done a few events over the years. Every time we were planning an event, through Axis, Original Sin, ABX, every single time we've done an event, we've always had to be mindful of Secret Wars. And we've had to make decisions based on the fact that we knew Secret Wars was headed our way.
Okay, mute that.
Mute that? You want me to mute it?
Mute that.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Marvel are ending everything.
Okay, what I hear is a lot of marketing jargon and corporate doublespeak.
Well, this is an interesting thing to happen live during the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do we feel? This is DC's New 52 happening at Marvel.
I'm going to react the same way to this that I reacted to the New 52. Is I'm going to be angry about it up until it happens, and then gradually I'll start to enjoy it. that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm obviously going to I'm going to read all of this. I'd say I would probably start off with denial, followed by anger, possibly bargaining, depression, and then just acceptance.
The 5 stages of Bobby Best.
Ugh.
Yeah, more or less.
Boys, this has been a really weird episode.
It has. As a concept, I actually really liked Secret Wars, despite the fact that it was terribly written.
Do you know what? That's something we have to go back and to review. Secret Wars.
Secret War, which one?
The original one.
Secret Wars 1.
Secret.
Okay.
Do you know who's a terrible arsehole?
Jim Shooter.
Jim Shooter. Terrible man. As a concept, I really like Secret Wars. I'm sort of interested to see what they do with this. But at least, was there? I don't remember.
Crisis of the Infinite Earths at Marvel.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah, but that kind of brings me to my question: was there an actual event that precipitated the New 52, or
Yes.
did they just flick a switch?
Oh, final. They had Final Crisis,
Flashpoint.
which then led to Flashpoint, which then led to the New Universe. They had a very specific issue. It's essentially Flash's fault.
Damn it, Flash.
Yeah, no, every major crisis event, every major change to DC reality can be brought down to one person, the Flash.
Okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're going to have Marvel's.
Crisis of the Infinite Earths.
Yeah. Marvel's new 616, or we're going to call it. I don't know. It'll be
We're all
good.
speculative at this point. We now know that they're doing it, but we don't know how it's going to play out. So
Well,
Yeah,
Well, when has a lack of information stopped speculation on the internet?
exactly. I'm gonna do what I always do when there's a reboot. I'll probably read it.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see a new, She-Hulk series and a new Gambit series. I don't know at what point somebody is going to just stop trying with those two.
Well, they're gonna. I say Gambit's gonna hit big in the next while with the wonderful announcement that Channing Tatum will be Gambit in a movie.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Cross Groove. Time's going to tell on that one. No, I don't see it. I don't see it making that much of a difference. Sorry.
No, let's see how this plays out. Huh?
All right. What do you think about the recent announcement that Tom Hardy is off of Suicide Squad and Jake Gyllenhaal is in?
We're never going to see that movie anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We are going to see that movie. You're going to see that movie. Time's going to tell on that one.
I have an actual problem with that movie.
Tell me, Bobby. Tell me, what is your problem with this?
Okay, right. Now, I am not, I'm not Dr. DC, so, but from what I understand, the Suicide Squad is a group of established, underline established, I'll come back to that in a second, supervillains from other DC properties who are all in prison together, and then they kind of stick them together, stick a bomb in the base of their skull, and say, here, go out and do what we tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to earn time off your sentence.
Now, they're all in prison.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which means they're all in prison for a reason. They are established characters in other properties, and that's where you know them from.
Yeah.
In the movie, they're not going to be established characters. In order for them to be in prison, you would have to at least explain that they all went out like bitches to one superhero or another, which I can't really see, wickety Wild West going, Flash kicked the shit out of me, what are you in here for? Well, it's going to be the dirty half dozen with subdermal explosives. I don't see it. I don't see it working as well as the comic.
The comic,
movie's a bit of a failed concept.
Usually I'm down with you on these things, but you're fucking bang wrong here, mate. That's a time-tested film format, like group of people thrown together, in a mad situation, doing a thing.
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah. It doesn't need to have the super. It's like you're being pernickety, and even that, the fucking Suicide Squad has never been that successful as a comic title anyway.
It's actually begun to rise in the last 2 years due to the recent inclusion in Arrow, and
the real reason for its success is the inclusion of Harley Quinn.
Well, this is it, yeah. And we are getting Harley. The lead of this film is essentially going to be Harley Quinn and Deadshot. They're going to be recruited by Black Flag because apparently, and this is only speculation from what I've heard, the Joker spends most of the movie in a prison cell. Essentially, he has set a series of events in motion that apparently only Harley Quinn will have knowledge of, and that's why she's recruited into the team. There's an element where they're sent. I know Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, is going to play into the film as well, thus connecting it to Superman versus Batman. So it is shared universe with the rest of this attempt at making a DC cinematic universe, and from that perspective alone, we gotta at least suspect that that makes Jared Leto the Joker that's going to be playing up against Ben Affleck.
I think it sounds like I think of everything that's been announced for the DC cinematic universe, that one sounds like a format that cannot fail.
Oh, by the way, Jared Leto says Batman is dead. Sorry, I just saw this in comicbook.com myself, but Leto did say Batman is dead. I don't know why. Anyway, something Actually, I meant to say this. Something in Suicide Squad really pissed me off recently, which was, you know how Amanda Waller is thin Amanda Waller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a comic book, somebody is talking to Amanda Waller and says, "Here, I'm
Have a sandwich.
I'm nipping down to the canteen. Do you want anything?" And she says, "No, it's all right. Because oh god, I've all this stress from working with this dipshit. I'll just get, my usual salad." And then she turns around and went, "No, get me the pulled pork," as if to say, "I'm gonna get really fat over the next couple of issues." It was the chubby. Kieran, could you give me a brief explanation of that? Flanagan, even could you give me a
okay.
chubby?
Chubby Hum was a film treatment that was made by Mark Kermode and what's his name? John Ronson, where they wanted to put together a series of vignettes of people who were famous for a certain thing. At the moment they realized they could do that thing really well, and the example they used was Karen Carpenter, because in the Karen Carpenter movie, I think it's called Superstar, there's a scene where the Carpenters have played their first gig and there's like a review and the newspaper, and like, "Oh my god, there's a review," and Karen's like, "Hey, what does it say about me?" And it says, "The chubby drummer did all right," and it cuts to a close-up of Karen Carpenter's face and she goes, "Chubby, Sorry. And you know what, I'm going to splice Mark Kermode's audiobook description of that in here, so it's much better.
By all means.
Yes, good one. I think the Suicide Squad's going to be good, and it's got sexy McSexterton playing.
May I give you a brief rundown of the supposed synopsis that's been released? Do you want to hear what it's supposed to be? Come on.
Yeah, why not? Go, man.
Suicide Squad begins with Harley Quinn and Deadshot when they cross paths at Arkham while Quinn is trying to bust the Joker out, and Deadshot is there to assassinate an inmate. Both of them are captured and brought to Amanda Waller's prison, Belle Reve Penitentiary. The Joker is taken to the prison as well. This is where he will spend the majority of the film. Think of him like Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. By the time the film ends, he will have broken out. Jay Courtney's Boomerang is already a member of Waller's Suicide Squad. There will be instant tension between his character and Smith's Deadshot, as Deadshot has killed his father. After Waller has assembled her team of villains, she gives them their first mission.
Oh, so it's not Digger, it's the
younger Boomerang.
Oh,
yeah.
The one that was heavily implied to be knocking off preteen Supergirl.
Yes, that's the one. Now, after Waller has assembled her team of villains, she gives them their first mission. They're to prevent a gang from selling Lex Luthor a bioweapon. That bioweapon turns out to be Enchantress. Luthor wants her for her magical abilities and a supposed weakness that Superman has towards magic. But the Suicide Squad gets to her first and brings her back to Waller's prison. During this scene, there will be some other unusual characters housed at Belle Reve, like King Shark. There is a major twist involving the character of Rick Flag, but if you want to find out what that twist is, you got to go over to the Latino Reviews article to find out. So,
okay, that sounds okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
Again, other quick cliff notes. Batman, as in Ben Affleck, will be mentioned but not appear. It is implied that Waller has assembled the team with the long-term goal of hunting down Batman, which is not unprecedented. That was one of the major missions of the first Suicide Squad in comics, was to bring down Batman.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was this the 80s series, the John Ostrander series?
Yes.
Oh, I don't recall that, and I've read all those.
Check it out, man.
I need to go back. Right, boys, we're coming up on the 50-minute mark here, so let's get some questions out of the way, and then we'll wrap it up, okay? Andrew McCall wants to know what the best Batman books are. Four words, Andrew. Dark Knight, Dark City.
For me, there's so many. Long Halloween. Obviously, The Dark Knight. I'm rather partial to the Nightfall trilogy, and No Man's Land.
No Man's Land. Yeah, No Man's Land. Yeah,
No Man's Land for me.
Yeah.
And Nightfall, but just up to including the part where Jean-Paul goes Jean mental.
I like Jean-Paul when he goes Jean mental in his mad suit.
He's walking around the Batcave talking to no one. Excellent. And then there's like a hunchback and a dog living in the Batcave nicking food off him.
Honorable mentions though. Well, they're not necessarily Batman books; they're Joker books. The recent Liber Mago, just Joker, and The Man Who Laughs, and Killing Joke.
God, we could do a full episode on Batman stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
On Batman Elseworld.
Don't even get me started on Elseworlds, Bobby. I'll be here all night.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome trailers for movies that suck. No, we're not doing that, Andrew. You took care of that on Spin 109 FM.
You did a really good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Just to say it on this podcast as well, the feud is over. We have made peace.
Oh yeah, actually, on that, can I say Godzilla, the most recent Godzilla? The more I watch it, the more I think that I was sold a lemon.
Let them fight.
Yeah. Yes. Dream.
Cloverfield.
Hey, that's one of my favorite movies still. Dream Fatal 4-Way match. What would be your dream Fatal 4-Way match?
Oh Jesus.
Kieran Flanagan, Bobby Best, Darren Fahey, and Wayne Talbot. No holds barred. Balls count anywhere. Tables, ladders, and chairs.
Okay. I would say. Christ.
Special referee Kim Brosnan.
I would say Ric Flair and AA Arn Anderson when they were both in their prime. Owen Hart.
Zuna.
Yep. Owen Hart and Chris Benoit.
Oh. I would like to see Jim Neidhart, Marty Jannetty, shall we say Scott Steiner, and who else was in a tag team?
Scott Snyder.
Yeah, Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner.
Like Scott Snyder, like Batman writer.
Yeah,
Scott Snyder.
And Draws. Okay. What are our Royal Rumble predictions? I predict that the Royal Rumble will be average and that Daniel Bryan will win.
I think that Daniel Bryan he's either had a couple of really good episodes written around him, or they're that it's possible that they're just they're finally realizing that he's the guy. But I think Vince will just change his fucking mind and
Roman Reigns suffer in succotash.
Yes.
And should I start watching WWE again, or does it still suck? No, it's been pretty bad. Although the NWO section,
I've watched it in months.
The NWO segment on Raw last night was well worth watching.
There was an NWO segment.
NWO and DX.
What? Link.
I'll put it up in a bit. Chris Duck wants to know what are your thoughts on the Hobbit fan edit and other fan edits in general. I've been waiting for this fan edit of the Hobbit movies since the very minute that I walked out of the first Hobbit movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing this put into a sort of manageable size, so that's good. I like fan edit movies. In fact, I saw a really good Star Wars one recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. As they edited the 3 prequels to sort of make them less cacky.
I see.
Any thoughts on fan edit movies?
I've only ever watched I've watched 1 or 2. There's a really good fan edit of Prometheus out there that kind of puts together all of the deleted scenes that weren't included in the movie, and it really makes it a better film. I've watched multiple fan edits of Blade Runner over the years, but that's kind of been defeated when Ridley Scott comes back and makes a true fan edit in the final cut, which I now consider to be the definitive one of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So to say that our fan edit's worth it, yeah, because fan edits caused Ridley Scott to go back and make the proper Blade Runner that he wanted to. So yeah.
Yeah, good. I want to check that Prometheus one out.
Yeah,
I don't know what Ridley Scott was thinking. What we need is less suspense and more space jellyfish. Barry Keegan wants to know the worst possible character from Marvel or DC they could make into a movie. Ooh.
The worst?
Oh, yeah, who's the worst possible character? Was it the Inferior 5?
Oh. Oh, that's bad. From Marvel, I'm gonna go Serpent Squad.
Serpent Squad. No, no, wait. In 1990, Simon Furman did a series for Marvel about 4 animals that were put into mech armor to make them makes them super intelligent. But it's think about We Three, right? You know, the Grant Morrison book. But imagine it's being written by Simon Furman, and it's about a bear and a dolphin and an eagle and a kangaroo who used suits to fight crime.
They starred in Deadpool not that long ago.
Brute Force were in Deadpool.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
They were. Yeah. I'm not
down.
even joking, man. Yeah, no, I have. Hang on. Didn't they assemble and make a goddamn mech at one point?
What?
I'll show you. I actually have a picture of it because I took a photo of it on my phone.
Okay, don't I feel like the shithead? Okay, well in that case, the worst character they could make into a film. Another Spider-Man film would probably be pretty bad.
Yeah, Great Lakes Avengers. Actually, no, that'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be brilliant. Actually,
that would be.
Actually, weren't they didn't they show up in Deadpool not so long ago?
I don't believe so.
Oh no, it was 1997.
Actually, I tell you who would be the worst. Would be the Wrecking Crew. There is no way you could put them on the screen and have them look believable.
The Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, the Wrecking
versus
Crew
the Serpent Squad, man. I'm telling you, that's a movie waiting to happen at Marvel. That's their Suicide Squad.
And the last question we have here is from Bobby. Have you got the Facebook page open?
No, but I can do.
I can't understand anything that Kim writes. So could you?
Oh Christ! I hope that I know what she's talking about.
Explain it to me because it makes no sense whatsoever.
I actually can't explain it to you, but I will say that the rule of 3 in comedy is it's a writing principle that suggests that things that come in threes are inherently funnier.
Yeah.
I see. This is because you see, on 2 separate podcasts in a row now, Flanagan, we've asked you, what are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah.
And 2 times now, you have completely omitted the fact that you are getting married.
Yeah, that's because I don't want to talk about my marriage on the podcast.
Well, what we're implying here is that at least one more time before the year is out, before you get married, you're probably going to make a guffaw of that, and it's going to be very funny.
Okay, well that's good. All right, yeah, well that's the comedy rule of thirds is a basic one. You know, beds. You know, you look at them selling anything in a shop. Curtains.
Yeah, 3 Stooges.
Aye.
And bonus last question from Darren McKay, who's just in 1 minute ago.
Bone.
Are DC and Marvel ending their current universes in exactly the same way? Yes.
Sorry, can I take this one?
Sure.
Yes.
Fuck you, McKay.
Yes, the answer is yes.
I could say I'm really enjoying some of the sketches that Darren's been putting up on the internet recently. Keep that coming, Darren. It's good shit.
Indeed, I'm going to even call him out even further. I've invited Darren to contribute to the next round of Lightning Strikes, and he's dipping the toe in, possibly, maybe, considering it. So, hope you do, Darren. I'm going to keep at you because I think your stuff's great.
Good man, Darren. Next week, gentlemen, is the return of I'm Awake, I'm Alive.
Right.
It's back.
Whose go is it?
It's my go.
Right, and who are we doing?
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. Fucking fine. I'm going to watch some Henry Rollins.
So my recommendation to you, gentlemen, is to and to you, gentle listener, watch some movies with Henry Rollins in them. They're almost universally terrible. Check out some of his spoken word performances. Dust off your copy of Get in the Van, and get prepared to talk about a great man.
Yeah. Kieran, I have your copy of Get in the Van.
You have one of my copies of Get in the Van.
Ooh, fancy.
And
I would suggest watching the Get. I think it's called the Getaway, where he plays a cop chasing after somebody driving down a road.
Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen.
Yes, brilliant. Charlie Sheen's The Getaway.
Okay.
And also series 2 of Sons of Anarchy, where he plays a neo-Nazi. very well.
Well, my advice is if you're going to check out some Henry Rollins stuff before the next episode, try and find his spoken word clip called "I Can't Get Behind That," in which he describes flying to Memphis to record a song with William Shatner.
Oh, I know it well. I know that sketch almost by heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
if anybody is taking notes, I would also
Scallops,
the one where he talks about trying to outdo Iggy Pop without realizing the truth. The one truth of life is that you cannot do such a thing.
He's also got a very good story. I think it's in that same bit about trying to outdo Sheryl Crow at a rock festival and just feeling fucking miserably. It's great. Oh, I'm really looking forward to next week's episode, and you should too, folks. What are we going to finish up with, Bobby? I didn't finish with the theme music to Game of Thrones last week, although I did insert that clip of the Hound saying that thing, which is the last time it'll appear in the show. Except for Mark Antonio's one.
How do we feel about Slipknot, lads?
Why not? Oh, because
Right.
they played in Dublin this week, didn't they?
Yes, and based on Marvel dropping the bomb on me, to play us out, ladies and gentlemen, here is Slipknot's Everything Ends.
See you next week.
Bye.
I haven't slept since I woke up and found my whole life was a lie, motherfucker. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. I get paid with pain, I'm on the trails of my arms with your disdain. Everything is the same, I love to hate, but I guess I don't care anymore. I'll fix my problems with no blame, while my eyes turn from blue to gray. And the worst thing happened to me today, but I guess I don't care anymore. You are all fucked and overrated. Think I'm gonna be sitting at your phone. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. I never slept since I woke up and found my whole life was a lie, motherfucker. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. My thoughts are the only thing left that's pure. Can't really live, can't really endure. Everything I see reminds me of her. Gotta listen, didn't care anymore. The more I touch, the less I feel. I'm lying to myself that it's not real. Won't be suffering when you make it such a big fucking deal. It's never gonna appear anymore. You are all fucked and overrated. Think I'm gonna be singing at your phone. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. I never slept since I woke up and found my whole life was a lie, motherfucker. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. You're wrong and overrated. I think I'm gonna be singing at your phone. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. I haven't slept since I woke up and found my whole life was a lie, motherfucker. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. What the hell am I doing? Is there anyone left in my life? What the fuck was I thinking? Anybody wanna tell me I'm fine? Where the hell am I going? Do I ever need a reason to run? I am only being tried. Why am I like attention to